The Record of Records, The Impossible Life of Ashrita Furman, the boy who didn't belong. In the quiet suburbs of Brooklyn, New York, in 1954, a boy named Keith Furman was born, not with the roar of greatness, but with the soft sigh of invisibility. He wasn't the strongest. He wasn't the fastest. He wasn't even particularly popular. In a world of high school jocks and spelling bee champions, Keith floated like a ghost, never noticed, never applauded. Yet deep within the quiet corridors of his mind lived a loud, relentless hunger to be someone. But how? He had no athletic ability, no extraordinary genius, no claim to fame. That question haunted him until he discovered a strange little book one rainy afternoon in the school library. Its cover read, Guinness Book of World Records. That book wasn't just pages and ink. It was a map to something glorious. Inside were humans doing unimaginable things: longest time balancing a milk bottle on a head, fastest mile on a pogo stick, most apples sliced midair with a sword. It was weird, wonderful, wild, and suddenly, Keith Furman saw it clearly. He wouldn't need to be the best at something. He just had to be the best at something. The Ashrita Awakening. Years passed. Keith grew up. He took on a boring job and war. But then came a moment of awakening, a spiritual one. He joined a meditation group led by the Indian guru, Sri Chinmoy. Under the guru's guidance, Keith began to shed his fears and self-doubt. He meditated, he trained, he pushed boundaries, he found peace, and he found power. He took a new name, Ashrita, meaning, protected by God. And that name marked the beginning of something outrageous. The first record 1979. Ashrita was working at a health food store and training like a madman in secret. He set his eyes on his first world record, doing the most jumping jacks in a row. People laughed. You were picked last in gym class. But Ashrita had the determination of 1,000 men. He trained for months. On record day, soaked in sweat, trembling with exhaustion, he completed 27,000 jumping jacks. The record was his. And so was his new addiction. Madness begins. Once you taste immortality, how can you go back to normal life? He couldn't. He began hunting records like a wild explorer chasing lost treasure. But his goals weren't ordinary. Most grapes caught in mouth while juggling. Fastest mile on a space hopper. Longest distance balancing a milk bottle on the head. But behind every bizarre stunt was a man discovering the outer limits of human spirit. Each record was more than a title. It was a war against doubt. A rebellion against mediocrity. He wasn't just breaking records. He was breaking the idea of what was possible. The Great Wall of Madness. 2004, China. The plan: bounce the entire length of the Great Wall, 26 miles. Insane, of course. Each bounce pounded into history. Each bruise, a badge. Each laugh from bystanders, just fuel for the fire. When he reached the end, limping, bloody, but victorious. By 2017, Ashrita Furman had set more than 600 world records. Over 200 were still unbeaten. 600. He holds the Guinness World Record for holding the most Guinness World Records. That's like winning the Olympics in everything. He did it all. Running with a milk bottle on his head. Balancing a chainsaw while walking. Fastest mile somersaulting. Most underwater jump rope skips. Longest time hula hooping underwater. No fame, no million-dollar endorsements, just passion. In an age where celebrities are born from viral memes and Photoshop, Ashrita built his legacy with grit, sweat, and joy. A man of spirit, not ego. What drove him? Not money, not fame. Ashrita often performed his record attempts alone, in parks or deserts, with no audience. Just a stopwatch, a dream, and a heart that wouldn't quit. Each record is a form of meditation, he once said. A way to transcend limitations. Guinness World Records, the organization, at first didn't know what to make of him. But soon, they embraced him. He wasn't just their most prolific record holder, he became their ambassador of human potential. TV shows, interviews, documentaries, they all wanted a piece of the record man. But Ashrita never stopped moving, never stopped breaking, never stopped laughing. He was part athlete, part philosopher, part comic book hero. In a world obsessed with being the best, Ashrita Furman taught us something radical. You don't need to be born with a cape or a crown. Ashrita Furman is not just a man with 600 records. He's a mirror showing us what's possible when the world tells you, impossible. But more than that, he leaves behind something richer than gold: permission. Permission to dream ridiculous dreams. Permission to live passionately. Permission to be joyful in pursuit of something only you understand. He proved that greatness doesn't always wear a suit or win a Grammy. The end. Subscribe for more interesting stories.